It's Monday morning. Bombs rain down on both sides of the Israel-Lebanon border as world leaders push for an end to the attacks.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Now.
And those leaders jointly at the G8 summit all have some strong differences, but did agree on wording that expressed deep concern for what's going on.
And the deadliest attack yet by Hezbollah yesterday on Sunday, and in the meantime, an effort to evacuate American citizens who are there, so we'll have that as well. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ron Corning, along with Ty Hernandez. Also coming up here this half hour on World News Now, firefighters look to gain the upper hand on a massive blaze out west, but a heat wave crossing the country could cause more problems. And remembering a tragic accident, it has been 10 years since TWA Flight 800 went down.
But we begin this morning in Russia. G8 leaders are wrapping up their summit. The spreading violence in the Middle East dominated the agenda, and leaders attending the meeting issued a joint statement on Sunday. ABC's Jessica Yellen is in St. Petersburg at the summit. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Ty. The leaders came into this summit with strong divisions over their positions on the Middle East, but leave with a unified statement that first and foremost blames Hamas and Hezbollah for the attacks that initiated this violence and calls on them to immediately release those captured Israeli soldiers. This was a significant victory for President Bush and his view of the situation there, and he underscored the importance of this part of the statement in his comments this morning.
Terrorist activity, mainly Hezbollah, housed and encouraged by Syria, financed by Iran, are making these moves to stop the progress of peace. We hope that by addressing the conditions of this violence, we can get to a situation where there was calm.
Now, this statement also calls on Israel to show restraint, and it demands that all sides work together to support the Lebanese government. There are, though, as you've said, differences. Immediately after this agreement was announced, President Putin of France came out and said that he still thinks Israel is showing disproportionate use of force. And then President Putin of Russia said that he thinks there's not enough evidence to prove that Syria and Iran are behind the attacks by Hezbollah, something you heard President Bush say just this morning he believes to be the case. Still, there is some unity, and the leaders here have agreed to continue to work together, not just on now analyzing the situation and its causes, but finding productive ways to end it, perhaps even sending some sort of UN force into the region to maintain security and monitor the situation. The leaders leave Russia later today, and President Bush will be home by this evening. Ty?
All right, Jessica, thank you. ABC's Jessica Yellen in St. Petersburg, Russia.
And of course, at the center of all of this is the violence between Israel and Hezbollah continuing this morning. Bombs are falling on both sides of the border, and ABC's Lama Hassan is joining us now live from Jerusalem with the latest on that. Lama, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ron. The violence here in the Middle East is escalating, with both sides, the Israelis and the Islamic militant group Hezbollah, stepping up their attacks, and there is no sign of this crisis letting up. Overnight at Beirut's International Airport, the sky lit up. Israeli airstrikes hit fuel tanks, setting them on fire. Both sides have been threatening each other, and both keeping to their word. Other Israeli attacks flattened Hezbollah's headquarters in Beirut, also targeting roads, bridges, and petrol stations in northern and southern Lebanon, trying to cut off the country from the outside world. All of this comes after the militant group mounted their deadliest attack yet. 9 a.m. Sunday, they launched a barrage of rockets deep into northern Israel, hitting Haifa, its third largest city. A train depot was hit, killing at least 8 people. The Israeli Prime Minister said this attack changed everything and threatened, quote, far-reaching consequences. Both countries are killing civilians. This was the attack on Tyre in southern Lebanon. A convoy of families fleeing the fighting were hit. More than 20 people, mostly children, were killed. Hezbollah warns that this is just the beginning, threatening to hit even deeper into Israel. The resident towns stretching from Haifa to Tel Aviv are now on high alert. And the cycle of violence continues. Just this morning, Hezbollah launched more rocket attacks into northern Israel, with both both sides showing they mean business. The question is, what's next and how far will this crisis go? Ron? back to you.
Lama, and on that note, as you talk about possible attacks deeper into Israel, what is the feeling in Jerusalem particularly?
Well, it's very surprising because I expected to arrive here with people bracing themselves for war, people panicking, but there is nothing like this on the ground here in Jerusalem. There is an air of calm, but it's surprising because when you move north of Israel, you see the situation changing and you see the threat level changing as well to deal with this current crisis here in the Middle East.
Lama, thank
Ron?
you for monitoring the situation there for us. ABC's Lama Hassan in Jerusalem.
And back in this country, a day of dangerously hot temperatures and high humidity for many major cities. Even for the middle of July, it is unusually hot and sticky. And ABC's Sonia Crawford joins us from Washington with the latest.
Good morning, Taina. The heat index is supposed to reach 105 degrees in the nation's capital today. The hot air that's been sitting on top of most of the country reaches the East Coast today. Meteorologists predict record temperatures in nearly every major northeastern city today. Chicagoans who took advantage of 24-hour cooling centers are waking up this morning in air-conditioned buildings. The city is trying to provide relief after an assault of 100-degree heat and stifling humidity. Emergency workers are checking on the elderly and fielding thousands of phone calls. A heat wave has descended across the west, southwest, plains, and midwest. Today, it will engulf the east as well. Meteorologists blame an unusual jet stream, which is blocking colder Canadian air from reaching the U.S.
The impressive thing about the heat is not only how hot it's going to get, but how much of the country we're going to see record heat.
Heat advisories are in effect today from the Dakotas, where triple-digit temperatures yesterday broke a 66-year record, to Las Vegas, where this family sat sweltering in their apartment waiting for someone to repair their air conditioner, to Ohio, where summer school is canceled because classrooms are hotter than outside.
It's been a couple summers probably since it's been this hot.
People are finding ways to keep cool, but for firefighters, the heat is making their jobs more difficult. Already dry brush and grass is becoming drier and more flammable in Minnesota, Texas, and California. The Golden State is under a power watch. Officials are asking everyone to conserve as demand for electricity is expected to reach an all-time high today. They're hoping to avoid rolling blackouts. In the San Francisco Bay Area, commuters are getting free rides on buses, ferries, and trains. The hot, windless forecast has got authorities concerned about air quality. So as part of Spare the Air Day, they're hoping to get people out of their cars and into public transportation. Taina?
Thank you, Sonia. Sonia Crawford in Washington.
Now we turn this morning to our news notes. The crisis in the Middle East will be among the topics the UN Security Council will take up during its closed-door meetings. Also up for discussion, Iran and its nuclear threat. Also this morning, the Senate is likely to pass a bill reversing administration policy on stem cell research, but there are not enough votes to override a promised presidential veto. A big send-off at Fort Hood, Texas for the 149th Aviation Regiment heading to Iraq. Personnel include members of an attack helicopter battalion. A somber anniversary. It is 10 years since TWA Flight 800 exploded in the sky off Long Island. All 230 people on board were killed. NASA is hoping the rain will hold off long enough for the Space Shuttle Discovery to land in Florida today. If not, they will try again tomorrow.
And still head on World News Now. It's been 10 years since Flight TWA 800 crashed. We'll open up the ABC News video vault for a look back at the tragic event.
We're back in just a moment. You're watching World News Now.
Hi, I'm Rob Graham, the president of Vital Basics, and I want to give you a bottle of Focus Factor, one of our best-selling supplements, absolutely free. Why would we give away a free bottle of Focus Factor? Because we know that if you try it, you'll buy it. Focus Factor contains nutrients that work with your natural brain chemistry to support focus, concentration, and memory.
Focus Factor is now available at Walgreens and CVS Pharmacy, but if you call now, you can try it free.
Simply call the number on the bottom of your screen and we'll send you a full-size bottle of Focus Factor, a $75 value, absolutely free. You simply provide $4.95 to help cover the cost of shipping.
They let you try it free? It must be good.
You know, I've been taking Focus Factor since we introduced it over 2.5 years ago, and I wouldn't work a day without it.
Buy it at Walgreens and CVS Pharmacy, or call now and try it free. Call 1-800-338-0034.
Aging skin, tired muscles, dry, cracked feet? You could go to a luxury spa to rejuvenate your skin and pamper your body, or you could bring the spa to you with Spin Spa, the spinning brush that turns showering into a spa experience. For aging skin, use the microdermabrasion head to cleanse away dead skin cells from head to toe and reveal the youthful skin beneath. Or use the mesh sponge for a more gentle exfoliation, giving your skin that clean and healthy glow every day. For tired muscles, use the massage head to soothe away aches and pains. The soft massaging fingers also improve circulation, perfect for areas prone to cellulite. For dry, cracked feet, use the salon quality pumice stone to smooth away calluses and rough skin, so you can have pedicure perfect feet all the time. Spin Spa comes with every indulgence you'd find at a spa, and it's great for everyday cleaning too. Just add your favorite soap or body wash and let Spin Spa do the rest. The extra long handle makes reaching your back and lower legs easy. Who needs a spa? Now you can pamper yourself with spa luxury every day in the convenience of your own home with Spin Spa. It comes complete with the microderm head, the mesh sponge head, and the cleansing head. A $40 value for only $19.99. You also get the massage head and the pumice stone, a $20 value free. But call right now and we'll also give you this luxurious silk spa robe, a $60 value, yours free. That's right, you get the Spin Spa with all 5 spa attachments and the silk spa robe, an incredible $120 value, all for just $19.99. This offer is not available in stores, so call now. Here's how to order.
To order your Spin Spa, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-406-4747. That's 1-800-406-4747. Don't delay. Call right now at 1-800-406-4747.
Welcome back. I'm Sonia Crawford in Washington. We're going to take a closer look this morning at the intense rivalry between Boeing and Airbus. And for that, Declan Curry of the BBC joins us from the Farnborough International Air Show. Good morning, Declan. It sounds like there's some new competition in store for Boeing.
There is. There's always intense rivalry, of course, between your American plane company and our European plane company over here. We're at a plane show, so you get what you expect here at Farnborough. There's a plane, a regular-sized jumbo. And then just take a look over here. Here is the Beast. I think Airbus probably have a much grander name for it, but this is the plane that Airbus, the European plane maker, is showing off here at Farnborough this year. It's super jumbo. It carries anywhere between 500 and around 700 passengers. You'll see if we go back towards it that it's double-decker all the way along the plane. This really is a great big monster of a plane, and airports around the world are having to change their terminals and their runways to accommodate the size of this one. Now, that is the plane on which Airbus has bet the ranch. Boeing has bet its ranch on a completely different type of plane. Instead of going a size up from a regular jumbo, Boeing is going a size down from the regular jumbo. I suppose you could call it a mini jumbo if you wanted to. And Sonia, this is all about 2 different models of where they think the economics of airline travel is going to go. Airbus is saying, if you look at the major airports around the world, like JFK, San Francisco, Tokyo, London Heathrow, the problem there is congestion. There just aren't enough slots for planes to take off and land to accommodate all the flights and all the passengers. So they say you need great big planes like this one to mop up more passengers to ease that congestion. Boeing has looked at what the low-cost airlines, Southwest, where you are, EasyJet and Ryanair over here in Europe have done, and they say that the message is different, that people are willing to go to smaller, less congested, cheaper airports so that they can get cheap flights to out-of-the-way airports. To do that, You don't need a great big plane like that one. You don't need a great big plane like that one. You need one that is a size down, and that is where Boeing has bet its future. So two completely contrasting views on the type of planes that we're going to be using in 10 or 15 years' time. But Sonia, one other thing that's worth saying is that both of them are also hedging their bets. While Airbus has got the super jumbo, Boeing has turned around and tried to stretch its regular jumbos to make them bigger. And while Boeing has got the mini jumbo, Airbus has turned around and said, we can make one of those as well. The problem is they've gone back to the drawing board. It's still not quite what the airlines want, and it's costing them a fortune.
All right, thank you so much for the update. Declan Curry at the Farnborough International Air Show there, giving us an update on the intense rivalry between Boeing and Airbus. Thanks for joining us. Well, when we come back, we'll take a look at the tragic anniversary of TWA Flight 800. You're watching World News Now.
ABC's World News Now will continue after this from our ABC stations.
It's that busy time of year again. Christmas in July, of course. At Furniture Row, Christmas comes but twice a year, which means for a limited time, we're offering no payments and no interest until 2008. Plus, every customer who visits one of our specialty stores will receive an extra Christmas in July discount on top of our already guaranteed lowest prices. It's all part of Furniture Row Outlet's Christmas in July event. Dash right in. Our no payments and no interest until 2008 offer ends soon.
Step right up to America's Best. What would you call a store that offers contacts for just $12.49 a box? And designer frames from Tommy Hilfiger and Timberland. And 2 pairs of glasses for $69.95, including a free eye exam. America's Best. 2 pairs for $69.95 plus a free eye exam. Call 1-800-2PAIR or go to 2pair.com and schedule an appointment. America's Best. The best prices in sight.
Coming up on Good Morning America, heat wave. Could the hottest day of the year in many major cities and the worst? It is, I should say. It could be the hottest day and the worst may be yet to come. And a horse with a mighty big heart. Despite the dire predictions, Barbaro is doing a bit better. We'll get the very latest from the man who's been at his side all along. Tonight will mark the 10-year anniversary of the crash of TWA Flight 800. It exploded in midair over the waters off Long Island. And early on, investigators were focused on sabotage, a bomb, or maybe a missile. But as ABC's Nancy Weiner reports, the answer turned out to be something completely different.
At about 8:40 this evening Eastern Time, TWA Flight 800 exploded in midair over the waters off Long Island.
It had been a routine takeoff from JFK. But just 12 minutes into the flight, the Paris-bound plane disappeared from the radar screen.
These flames are still shooting about 50 to 100 feet into the air.
We're looking at this as a criminal investigation, that's correct. If it is a terrorist event, we then have the challenge to find out who the perpetrators were.
James Kallstrom led the investigation, one of the largest in aviation history. 10 years later, he says terrorism was everyone's first guess.
747s, to my knowledge at that time, basically don't blow up. Climbing out of a major airport with no mayday from the crew.
The entire plane, more than 1 million pieces, would have to be reconstructed on land for clues. The Ramada Inn near JFK became ground zero for grief.
He was only 21 years old. Come on, was a baby.
Was his body ever recovered?
Not much of it.
Jim Hurd lost his son Jamie. Together they ran the family auto body business. Jim lives in Maryland, but drives up to this memorial often.
So when you think of your son's final resting place, you think of this spot?
That's really it, yes. It's as close as I can get.
16 teenagers and 5 adults from one high school in Montoursville, Pennsylvania were on that flight, the French Club. They were so excited. And Michelle Becker, a 19-year-old from Florida, who was traveling to Paris for a wedding.
Such a sad time sometimes, isn't it?
Michelle's aunt and uncle were the driving force behind getting this memorial built.
Michelle was like one of these roses just in bud. A beautiful blossom and never had a chance to open.
In 2000, 4 years after the crash, the NTSB concluded that the probable cause was an explosion in the center fuel tank, sparked by a wiring short circuit.
the lessons learned from this investigation also made flying much safer. And they grounded all the 737 aircraft, that many of which had flown long beyond their cycle life, and pulled all the wiring harnesses out and replaced them. That's good.
Now, a decade after the crash, the families will tell you the pain doesn't get any easier. It just gets different.
It marks 10 years since the crash, and 10 years that a lot of people weren't sure they would live through. And so, in some sense, it's a feeling of relief or accomplishment. It marks some healing.
These flags here at the memorial represent the different nationalities of the Flight 800 victims. They were from 14 different countries. And on Monday, their family members will be coming from all of those countries for a special service in honor of the 10-year anniversary. Nancy Weiner, ABC News, East Moriches, New York.
And it is one of those moments, you and I were talking as Nancy was presenting her piece there, that it's one of those moments you remember where you were. I was in St. Louis and I wasn't working and I heard it on the radio and I immediately went to work. I think we were on the air for 36 hours. TWA was St. Louis based and much of the crew there was St. Louis based, so I spent a lot of time with the families of the crew members.
Yeah, I had a very different experience. I wasn't working in news at the time, and I was, one of my friend's brothers was on that flight, so that was a really difficult time. But, you know, not knowing in the immediate hours after it had happened what the cause was very scary. People immediately thought a bomb, missile, or terrorism. It turned out to be a mechanical failure that they say has not been fixed to this day. It could happen again.
And there are those companies, Boeing among them, developing equipment that will change the oxygen sources inside those tanks so this sort of combustion doesn't happen, but there is resistance from some airliners to not retrofit those older fleets, and so still the problem may exist there to some degree.
Sure, and as all of many victims' families say, every time they see a plane, it's a constant reminder, and 10 years is just a number.
And just one tribute here this morning in the New York Post, and we'll likely have more on this coming up in this morning's papers. And we'll have more news coming up here in just a moment. You're watching World News Now.
There are so many aches and pains that keep you from getting a full night's sleep. But starting tonight, there's a new PM that has them covered. Introducing new Advil PM, the first and only PM with Advil. Now get multi-pain relieving power plus a non-habit-forming sleep aid to gently ease you to sleep. Nothing's proven better on tough pain than Advil. When aches and pains keep you up, there's new Advil PM. Stop hurting and start sleeping.
My lymphoma had not only come back, but it was life-threatening.
After I discovered I was pregnant, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
When I first found out that Frank had cancer, I felt like my whole world had fallen apart.
I went to one more hospital because I wasn't willing to give up.
Being treated like a real person for the first time in 10 years was such a relief.
I feel like it's just like going back home.
My son.
Our cancer information specialists are available 24 hours a day. Call now and they'll send you this free life-changing video and information kit that shows you how state-of-the-art medicine combines with unique therapies to give you treatment options you may not even know exist.
We as cancer patients